What is your name and age?
My name is Meyer-Bullock and I'm 14 years old.
How many schools have you been to?
I've had to go to 7 different schools just because of bullying.
When did all the bullying start?
The bullying started when I was in 3rd grade, when I was jumped by a group of 5 kids and got my head beaten.
What is the most vivid memory or situation that you can remember?
That's a tough one, because I've had several. The first one, like I said before, was when I got jumped by 5 different kids. I got my head kicked in, beaten, and I literally had footprints on the back of my head to prove it. Another one is when I got a giant rock chucked at my head, but luckily I dodged it before it hit me. And then the next one is when, just recently, it happened in October, when I got assaulted by a kid and he kept punching me in the head and he didn't stop until someone came and pulled him off me.
What would you say to someone being bullied?
I would say to someone being bullied, get help as soon as possible, because it's not going to stop. It's just going to get worse.
What do you mean by get help? Like counseling?
No, not counseling. I mean, like, tell a teacher, tell a parent, do something, because it won't stop. If you tell a teacher and they don't do anything about it, try to tell your parents. Like, don't be afraid. Bullying is not your fault.
What have you done to cope with the bullying?
What I've done was I tried multiple things. I've tried telling a teacher, but teachers didn't really do anything about it. They just told me write a slip and nothing ever got solved. So I told my parents, and my parents actually took matters into their own hands and they actually stopped the bullying. Another thing was I switched to homeschool so I could focus more on my education, and so I didn't have to deal with all the other distractions and bullying in my life.
What would you say to someone who was thinking of committing suicide because bullying is so bad for them?
I would say, don't commit suicide. That is not the way out. Get help, like I said before. Tell your parents, tell a teacher, and if you are thinking about committing suicide or you're doing suicidal actions, get counseling, because that is not the way out. It is not your fault that someone is bullying you, and you don't deserve to end your life just because someone else is ruining yours. You can stop that. Once you commit suicide, it's over. You can't redo.
What would you say to a bully?
I would say that that's not cool if you're being bullied at home and that's the reason why you bully other people, because that's what the problem is most of the time. They're influenced by their family. Like, get help with yourself and stop bullying the other people, because you don't know what's going on in their life. That person might have anger issues and they might flip off. That didn't
Or out. They might flip out.
Flip out, I'm sorry. They might flip out. They might go crazy. They might try to kill themselves. And that's happened multiple times. So just stop. If it makes you feel better because something's going on in your life, try to fix that situation. Don't ruin someone else's life just so they can make your life better.
Why do you think some people choose to be a bully and bully others?
Because of their home influences, like their parents might bully them because they're not good parents. They might be bullied by older siblings. They just might, some people have like chemical imbalances in the brain and they just like, they have no conscience practically. They like hurting other people.
Every time you switched to a new school, what would go through your mind?
Well, first I thought maybe I could get a new start and start fresh. When that started not to work, I started to think that it was either I had to bully or be bullied, and I'm a nice person. I don't like to be bullied, and I don't like to bully, so I just had to deal with it.
Do you think maybe that's why some people are bullies?
Yeah, that's totally because they don't want to be bullied.
Can you please tell me your name, age, and how you know Jacob?
My name is Sabrina, I'm 18 years old, and Jacob is my brother.
Why do you think Jake is bullied?
I think he's bullied because he's a little bit different from other kids. He's really, really smart, but he likes to play around a lot, and I guess just some kids like to pick on other kids who are outgoing and fun, and he's really tall, so he stands out. So he's like a good target.
What would you say to someone who was thinking of giving up because they were being bullied?
I would say to them not to give up because all you're doing is letting the bully win. That's what they want. You should go trust in an adult, talk to them. They can help you sort out your problems and maybe stop the bullying. So don't give up. Don't let them win. If someone told me that they were considering ending their life because of bullying, I would tell them not to do it because all they're gonna do is make a lot of people who care about them miss them and feel so bad that they're gone. You're not gonna make anything better because that bully who is bullying you is gonna move on to the next person. You shouldn't end your life because of somebody else.
How does it make you feel when you come home from school and you find out that Jacob was bullied again and he got beat up pretty bad?
It feels really bad considering that he's a really, really nice kid and he's super smart, and I have no idea why anyone would want to hurt him. He's so nice to people. It's not like he's a bully or he picks on people. So I just think it's really unfair that he's getting treated this way for no reason.
What's your name and who are you?
I'm Gina and I'm Jake's mom.
Can you tell me about the first time Jake was bullied?
He was in 3rd grade and 5 children attacked him on the playground, and one of them was stomping on his head, and they stomped so hard that they actually left a shoe imprint and he had to have a CT scan.
Has most of his bullying happened to him while he's been at school? And what's that like?
All of his bullying has taken place at school, as far as I know. It's been really difficult dealing with the school because, like, the first time he was assaulted, when I went to speak with the principal, his response to me was he's dealt with this group of kids before and that the parents aren't concerned and that there really is little that can be done because the parents aren't doing anything to support the school, reprimanding them or changing the behavior. And the next time was in middle school when they called us and told us that Jake had been hurt, and when I met the principal in her office, Jacob was there with his father and I, and the first thing she said to him was, "What are you doing to make these children do this to you?" And I remember standing up, I had tears in my eyes, and getting really, really angry and telling her off because she was blaming the victim and that was completely unacceptable. He is like a minnow in a pond of sharks, and he is constantly the one that's bullied, and it's not his fault.
And why do you think Jacob always gets bullied at every school he goes to?
Jacob has highly functioning Asperger's. It's a form of autism, and basically he doesn't understand social cues. He thinks everyone is his friend, and he's really got a big heart, and he jokes around and wants to be accepted, but he never quite fits in, and it just makes him stand out to people. Plus he's really tall, so he already kind of stands out, and I think that's why they're always picking on him.
Jacob talked about his most recent incident in October. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, that was horrible. One student, actually, he thought he was his friend, and he was playing around and flicked some water on him, and the kid just absolutely lost his mind and beat Jacob repeatedly until campus security finally pulled him off of him. He had to go to the hospital, and we were there for several hours. He has so many bruises all over his head and his body, and his wrist was really injured. I took him out of school at that point. I was just heartbroken and tired of dealing with him going to school and not being protected. The police came and took a report. Like I said, we took him out of school. A couple days later, we had a knock at our door. The police were here. They were actually charging Jacob with assault for flicking water on this kid. And I was livid. I mean, my child spent several hours in the ER and was still in pain at that point, still had bumps and bruises and scratches and all kinds of things, and he's probably won't ever be the same from that incident. And they had the audacity to come here and charge him and say that he might have to go to court for assaulting the kid with water.
What would you say to a teen if you found out that they were considering suicide because of being bullied?
I know that it's hard. Those are really difficult years for teenagers. And I know that Jacob was ashamed to come home and tell us that he was being picked on. But it is really important that you go to some adult that can give you some kind of help. If it's an older sibling or an aunt or an uncle or your parents or your pastor or even your doctor, somebody. If you're not getting help at school, let someone know that it's happening so someone can protect you from that situation. I know that homeschooling is not an option for every child. I'm thankful that we were able to offer that option to Jacob, because I hate to think of him going back into that situation every day. It breaks my heart to think of all the things that he's been through and all the times that we don't even know about. And I know that he probably has thought about giving up at times, but that's not an option. And I know it seems like this is your whole life right now when you're a teen, but it's just such a small part of your life, and you have so much for your future left that it's not worth giving up over someone who has low self-esteem and needs to pick on you to make themselves feel better. So I would say that life is way too good to give up when you're young, because you have your whole life ahead of you.
Gonna be